be your blue team here, as we have Absolute Legends, going to be on the purple side, and immediately a Malphite and a Kha'Zix ban.
Yeah, the Kha'Zix ban was pretty much expected since SK's first pick, and I guess SK did their research on them.
Right. We have the Wukong followed up.
Their top lane played pretty good Malphite. At least online solo queue I saw him play a lot. And Wukong is very strong right now, in mid lane especially. I guess they got some information on this.
Yeah, I really like that Lee Sin ban against Hercubot. One of the best, in my opinion. Back when we used to see him, Joe and I were casting some EPS, I believe, or no, EMS, I believe it was. Very good with it. So they take that out. The Wukong ban, though, that's kind of going to that. I mean, we saw him yesterday, but
it's really big in Europe right now. Like many bruisers bit, the Wukong is definitely one of the strongest ones. And it could indicate that they go for Misfortune Armor, because we saw yesterday a real nice counter strategy revolving around Wukong. Yeah, this actually sets it up perfectly. If they go now for Misfortune and Armor in the next pick rotation, this would be the dream comp.
And so we do see those really strong champions, Kha'Zix at least banned out. Wukong, we saw him yesterday, as you say, but it was more of a counter strategy than anything. First pick AP Kayle, presumably AP Kayle, could still be top, could still be jungle. We've seen her in all these places very, very recently. Was Wukong banned out against the player, do you think? Or was Wukong banned out because they want to run that similar strategy that Misfortune and Mumu style, and they know it can counter it, they've seen it counter it, and they don't want to give that option?
what do you think?
I agree. Okay. So just don't want to give him that option. But it did leave Olaf open. Olaf is there and he's been picked up very quickly by Trowsy. If he keeps him, he's going to put him in the jungle. It's what we saw before. As we mentioned, it's not quite as rich in the gold, so you're going to be a little bit later to get all those big health items, get all that big damage that Olaf loves. Because to switch it around, there's no guarantee to say he's going to keep it. But if that's the case, what other junglers are there? There's still a lot open, a lot of strong ones. Hitnoon did pick that at least in for the top lane last time. They've had to ban that out themselves this time. And with Shen, if that's locked, that's another big global ultimate, strong jungler we've seen time and time again through this tournament, taken away from.
You can hear the crowd right now, seeing that Dare's being hovered on by Ocelot, and they are loving it. And we actually saw a lot of jungle Olaf as Season 3 began, but with the Warmogs kind of coming to rise, the effective health being worth way more than that armor.
You
kind of really expect him in that top lane.
Waiting on that Darius. I mean, we've seen Darius.
I really doubted Darius. In my opinion, Armor Misfortune are by far the best picks right now.
Well, if they've taken Olaf, if you put Amumu, Misfortune, Sona, Darius in the top lane, who better to go around and clean up all these low health champions? That guy with these massive great hacks, just dunk after dunk after dunk, resets all the way through. I mean, we saw Curse try the same thing with Katarina. Use her resets, clean up. So maybe later on they have picked a couple of other ones, but he could fit in there, could he not?
Sure.
Well, what kind of composition are we seeing developed out of Absolute Legends right now? I mean, they have the Olaf, they have the Lulu, Misfortune and Xin Zhao both being sat on right now.
It's a tough call. I'm wondering like how they are figuring to counter this AoE with Kayle. I hope they have some strategies prepared of where to get kills and maybe lane swaps and dives and stuff like this, because if this goes to mid game, from the looks of it, it's going to be really tough for them.
Peggy, isn't that the hard thing though? I mean, you have a Kayle. Picking off a kill against a Kayle, a Shen, and a Sona so far, it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, when there's Kayle on the team, focusing one person down could be a downfall, to be completely honest. You dive in, blow everything on one guy, she's just going to pop her ultimate, suddenly it's all worthless. You've got no abilities. That's gone out the window.
So we will
locked in Shaco. I mean, we've got, let's see, Ocelot and Kevin currently sitting on two opposite champions. Now that says to me, they're going to swap. That'll be their straight swap. So it's going to be Shen in the top lane, Kayle in the mid lane. That's your two. Nif currently sitting on only Shaco. He's definitely swapping with that with Candy Panda, with Hakibot, and he's going to switch up to the jungle. So jungle Shaco is a ridiculously powerful early game jungle. Pop those boxes down, kill the camps quicker than anything else. Normally you'd invade, you go straight into the other jungle, take away Red Buff, or set up a trap by the Wraith camp and shut him down in that process. You can also gank lanes very, very early. It's almost impossible to ward against him in this early game, because if you're going that deep in, you're very much likely to get yourself out of position. He can just deceive over wards, deceive over walls, stealth into lane. He's got a very powerful big damage crit if he can get behind you. He's got a slow from that shiv. And if you're not careful, you will lose the game in the first 5 minutes. If Shaco can land a successful gank in every lane, puts them all behind, you're not going to come back from that. But that being said, if it does go to late game, the guy becomes basically useless, and that comp from Absolute Legends is very strong in late.
I really like the Pantheon pickup to try to counteract the globals a bit. The Shen and the Kayle teleport. But I don't know if SK should take this risk at this point, going Shaco.
Nika currently sitting on Pantheon. Nika is the mid laner. We saw him play Orianna last time round. Kayle AP mid still very new. Kayle AP mid range. She used to be in the top lane because she was so good against melee champions. How's Pantheon going to do against her mid?
Perfectly fine. Pantheon should definitely win this lane if Shaco doesn't get involved too much.
How exactly does he do that? Is he just going to constantly spam out his spear harass long range? Can he just jump in and stun her every time she comes close? What is it that gives him that edge?
Pantheon is generally like one of the strongest bruisers in mid lane you can play. Other champs like Talon and Kha'Zix are pretty similar, but he definitely is like one of the ones with the most killing potential, especially if a gank comes in. Xin, Pantheon, double CC, and gap closers, and yeah, it's really strong.
All right, real quick, who do you guys have to win this game?
Going on team comms, I want to give it to Absolute Legends. I want to say they're going to hold on through early, mid-game. They're going to take about a dragon fight early on. They're going to take it through to late, and this comp's just going to roll over.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I like Absolute Legends comp actually more now.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead over to Demon and Jack. If you're taking this game away for you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting underway. It is SK Gaming in the blue and Absolute Legends as the red side. Interesting team comps from both teams here, Jack. Straight away, could potentially see a level 1.
Especially with a Shaco in the game. This is something we haven't dealt with very much early on in Season 3. We haven't seen much Shaco whatsoever, so it'll really depend on what teams, if they want to invade Shaco or just stay away from him early on.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting setup. How do you rank some of these lanes out? I mean, Ocelot's going to be picking up Kayle. Kayle we've seen a lot of lately. Started to really be popularized in Korea, and the European scene has picked it up as well.
It's almost like a wildfire with how many people that are playing Kayle lately. It's spreading like crazy, especially the Kayle mid. You go Nashor's Tooth and then the Liandry's Torment because it applies on her E, which is just like shredding AoE damage. Hopefully we're going to be able to get back into this game soon, but he's also brought Teleport, which is what's really interesting about this. So Ocelot, like he did in the first game with Teleport, will try to make it around the map. Luckily, the pause was short, and we're back in the game.
Yeah, back in the game. You can see Ocelot sat ready and waiting to see whether they try and sneak up and put that ward in. Lulu is heading this way, so Timek is going to plod his way there, and immediately Ocelot just came out just a second too soon.
And I'm really surprised that SK is not doing more to protect Hurkbot's jungle. Normally, you can pretty much guarantee an invade victory. If someone tries to come in and stop Shaco, you'd be able to win the fight, but because Kevin's top, if Absolute Legends were to have invade, they could have stopped them, but they were scared off by the threat of Shaco, I think.
And immediately put a pink ward down, so Nif burning out a pink ward just to clear that one out. It wasn't the Expedition ward, so full ward taken down there. Let's have a look towards it. Looks like it's going to be pretty safe for him. We can see the box both place, and he's going to pull it around the corner. But like you mentioned, you can easily mess up a Shaco jungle.
Looks like they're not going for it though. They've decided against it. The fear was too great, and he's going to be able to start red, and the gank will be pretty powerful because he's also starting to ignite on Shaco. So that's like an all-in, really threaten the lane strategy.
And we're going to get a lane swap here. You can see that Misfortune and Lulu heading to the north. Oh, is it going to be a late invade here, Jack?
They might just be trying to think Shaco is starting blue because when they made that initial invade, they didn't really know where Shaco would be. They think maybe that because they faked the invade, they would think that he would start blue instead of red. So they're going to stop him from bluing entirely. And Hatun is taking his own blue. So this is actually taking advantage of SK's passive early playstyle, making sure SK didn't make mistakes, and AO's going to start with 3 buffs probably.
So Trousey picks up the blue. You can see Hatun gets the blue of his own. He is just going to teleport back. The lane switch is coming in. So let's get straight down to business. The lane swap's coming in. Shen as a 1v2.
It's going to be pretty tough for Kevin to 1v2, at least early. He's struggled in 1v2 lanes in the past, and there's something crazy happening in the bottom lane. Nobody's there, and they're already planning the 3-man gank. Hurkbot is ready to tower dive for when Hatun gets down there with the blue buff. They're going to try to shove it up and potentially just 3-man mob him. There's no wards. They have no idea he's down here. It's a matter of patience and if they're going to go for this, but they want to try to get that blue buff back when he gets here.
Well, the creep wave has come in. They want to try and get that cleared out. It is the siege minion creep wave as well Hittoon, here he goes, comes around level 2, straight towards Hittoon. He's going to be able to deceive through, pops another box, so he's not going to be able to escape this one either because the box is going to proc. There's teleport coming in as well. Ocelot's going to join the party. He does manage to get first blood. Hittoon though. Ocelot, can he finish it up? He gets the slowdown. Is he going to enough? The tower takes down Zona as well, and they don't get the kill. That has backfired horrendously for SK Gaming.
Normally, the 3-man gank can take down the man sitting in his turret. That was a 4-man gank. SK went all in on that and fell off. And here now, we see the 3-man gank from Absolute Legends. Can they make it work on Kevin?
Well, you just got to wonder, did they want to try and clear that wave out? I feel that Hercubot just went a little bit too soon. You can see that creep wave's going to get cleared out. Kevin sat ready and waited. We also have Pantheon making his way up here. I mean, it's going to be a 4-man dive. And Absolute Legends, well, almost guaranteeing a kill here. They're diving in. Kevin's going to get caught out. It's the tower damage on Trasty. He will get one. He good to return there to get one kill out of nothing there. And the horse also took a couple of tower hits.
But the great thing about that was they got the assist gold on top of the kill, and it just means they are in a bit of a lead here. Pantheon getting that kill, or sorry, no, Zinzao getting that kill is going to allow him. He actually went with a Philosopher's Stone. I thought he'd go for a Razor to quick clear the jungle. We'll see how it works out for him.
So a lot of damage on towards that top turret. It's down to below 1,000 hit points already. They may be able to take it down here. That's obviously the objective. They're going through. Jack, we were trying to take you through the lanes. Obviously, It's been a pretty lively one to start with. Hercubot again going very active in towards the mid lane this time. But let's try and go through it. I mean, Ocelot's facing off. So it's Kale versus Pantheon.
So Citizen Wayne earlier on said that this should be a Pantheon lane, because Kale is somewhat weak to things that can actually close the gap onto her. So if Nicker can get the jumps onto Ocelot, he might be okay. But the problem with that is Shaco applies so much lane presence that Pantheon's never going to feel safe jumping onto Ocelot, which should give Ocelot the ability to bully a little bit. As we see actually Xin Zhao caught a little bit out of position. He's going to have to get out of there.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about coming around for a gank in that bot lane, but decided instead to back away. Pink's going down, actually looking towards Chimek at the top there. It's again taken down very low by Kevin. Must have been taunted in towards that turret. There's the only other way a Shen can certainly try and bully out that lane. So this top lane, well, you can see the turret is down to 474 hit points, very much low. Timek's going to back away. Horse now 1v1. He's actually a level bar low, and Kevin immediately checks it, realizes it, and Horse doesn't want a piece of that and has to back straight out.
And these 1v2 lanes are really not working out for SK, mainly because of the 4-man failed dive on Olaf in the bottom lane early. That turret has almost no damage, so the fact that they lost the kind of dive trade that happened early, as well as losing that turret, could lead into AL having a huge early game advantage if they can finish off that top turret quickly.
Well, Trousey was going to look towards getting the blue. Of course, it's not there. Hercubot does finally clear out the camp. He's only just cleared the camp. That's a long way to wait before that camp's been cleared.
It's really going to be a struggle for Hercubot to get back into this. Shaco is all about the level 1 gambit. The fact that Absolute Legends took the 3 buffs, denied him his blue, and the fact that he had a failed gank in the turret is really screwed him early here.
Kevin, meanwhile, in that top lane, he's starting to get a little bit more confidence, staying up the lane, starting to farm it out. Take us through the early items, Jack. You can see there's a couple of things starting to get bought out. The first shot back.
Looks like Kevin, at least in the top lanes, really just trying to sustain through the lane. He went for that Dorn shield. He's really just surviving, and that's what we see so many Shens do. The only other big things you see is a Ninja Tabi on Olaf in his 1v2 lane as well. Again, just looking to survive in all honesty.
And Olaf returning to that lane. Leveling up the action as you would expect, and then I guess Reckless Swing will be next. What would you normally go with on Olaf, especially in a 2v1? Obviously he wants to be doing the undertow as much as possible.
It really depends for Olaf players. In the 1v2s, they definitely max the Q undertow just to farm. In the 1v1 lanes, they'll go more for Reckless Swing because they're able to get aggressive, but I'd expect them to really just max Q and E together for the most part.
So we see Nicker coming across. He's going to take away the blue buff. So instead of, was Trousey going to take it himself? No, he is going to pick it up. He's going to give it up. So Trousey pass that one over to Nicker. Let's see whether Nicker's going to start doing some man drops somewhere. Is he going to come down towards the bottom?
He wants to. He doesn't have boots yet though, so if he does get the gank, it wouldn't be the best chasing down. There's no boots in the bottom lane either, so he would have been able to close it out. He's just recalling back to the base as they take the top turret.
So next picks up the first turret. And that will be a successful lane swap. Of course, it was Absolute Legends that initiated the lane swap, so it was those that wanted to be the more aggressive. Hitoon defended his turret very successfully. You can see it's barely been scratched, just 600 hit points taken off it total. In towards the middle lane though, every time you see Ocelot heading towards that turret, he's not quite got the power to start burning it down, and he's now starting to begin to roam. How do you see the power swings between these two teams? You know, they mentioned it in the expert desk, so basically saying that they much preferred Absolute Legends builds when it starts to get to the big fights. I mean, they are so tanky.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they pursue, because normally Pantheon's going to look to press his early game pressure here and dive in, but he's got to be really careful because there's actually more global pressure on SK.
Oh,
but he's coming in for the dive right here.
Man drop on towards Ocelot's coming straight in. He's going to get knocked up. He does use his ultimate. He's going to try and flash through. Is it going to be enough? The Ignite is running. He turns straight around. Boss takes down Trouncey. Now they're on towards Nika. Ocelot does finally get dropped. And then can see Absolute Legends going to turn this on to a great fight for them. Nika does get taken down there, but Kevin's going to have to escape because bullet time comes across. Kevin can only take so much damage. He gets knocked up in the air, but the Lulu ultimate, now they're going to turn towards him. Can they tower dive? I'm not too sure. They dive back towards Horsey. They've caught Horse on the tower. Kevin tries to follow it through. Candy Panda, though, gets squilled straight away. He's going to try and follow this one through. Arcane shifts back in there. He could do a lot of damage on the escape here. Doesn't have the mana to follow it through.
All in all, a 3 for 2 for AL, so that was a really good fight for them. Everyone converged on there. Kevin ulted in, Pantheon ulted in as well, so Ocelot actually trying last-ditch effort on kill, used his teleport. He's going to try to chase down Horse. I don't know if he'll make it, though.
You see him down the bottom lane, yeah. You can see Horse is immediately backed away. That strut helping him out, so teleport used. I think they were expecting maybe a straight dragon attempt there, so they had to be defensive. Kevin hasn't gone back to base yet, but now you can see Hercubot starting to set up and go for that dragon as well. This will be a very aggressive dragon. You can see Trouncey. Trouncey's going to get singled out here. Candy Panda's coming around the side. Candy Panda's going to get caught. Straight jump on there. One more hit and actually will get the knockup. Trouncey is sat ready and waiting with that knockup. Is anybody else going to come in there? Well, Misfortune is a long way away from this fight. I think SK Gaming are going to take it.
Just the right amount of timing, and AL was not willing to pull the trigger on what would have been about a 3v5 at least early on. So even though SK had the dragon aggro, they put it on the right person. They weren't low before the fight, and it was actually smart of AL not to contest that.
Very lively game, 5-3. It kills across the board, just 1,000 gold difference, and it's actually Absolute Legends with that gold advantage, despite the fact SK just picked up that dragon, which will of course give him a large global gold advantage. They didn't quite get that turret down, the ward down. Kind of needed Timek to hit that.
It's going to be really crazy to see if Absolute Legends can hold on to this, because SK has so much live experience just playing in front of huge crowds. It's kind of what they live for. Absolute Legends really doing this for the first time, but they have the home crowd in front of them. They had such a tough game just recently against Fnatic. SK, though, coming off a loss as well to a Zubu Frost. Losing early to this, I wonder if they're going to be able to stand with it. You can see Pantheon wanting to ult in bottom. Hercubot was actually waiting for a counter gank, not going in though.
Not going in at all, but at the top there you can see Kevin getting a little bit aggressive between them. We've seen Shen versus Olaf so many times.
Here comes Pan bottom.
Down the bottom, it is going to be a man drop straight in there. You can see Horse coming in, he's going to get onto, oh, it's Hercubot. Hercubot survives off the side there. They do finally go down. I think it was the red buff that burned him down there. Candy Panda has managed to avoid the damage. Ocelot coming back in towards Nika, but the rest of the team are not around. Stan United not available, so they couldn't come in and save the day.
So a successful gank kill. They knew that the Shen ultimate was down and Ocelot's teleport was down, so that if they Pantheon ulted in, they would be able to catch SK Gaming by surprise for a jungle shakeout early on.
Yeah, he's only just about to hit 6 on that last minion. Meanwhile, you can see Trouncey, he's up to level 7, well on his way through. Still down the bottom here, Hercubot, and he's thinking maybe having a go at them. If Horse sticks around and Timek, they could try and turn something back into their advantage.
I really wonder why he's spending so much time here, though, because Nif has no crescendo. Ezreal's not going to really add much to the gank aside from just pure damage. And he's really just digging himself a hole unless AL was diving them, but they don't see it coming. He's going in for it here. I don't know if he can get it.
He's going in for it, but yeah, Timek successfully gets away. Didn't need to use anything other than flash to get out of there. Hercubot didn't use his ultimate. It's still available. Has just got that, of course. Meanwhile, Ocelot's been farming out the entire jungle. Hercubot maybe giving it up to Ocelot. I don't know whether that's something planned or whether he's just taking it anyway.
It's probably a combination of the two. He recognized that Hercubot was spending so much time bottom, so he saw the window to go in the jungle. Then there's the other opportunity where he might just be, the team might just say, Hercubot's done. it's time to get Ocelot fed. Shaco's an early game gambit. If it doesn't work out early, it usually doesn't work out for the rest of the game, so they might just be trying to turn the other 4 members of their team to as fed monsters as they can, because they know Hercubot's not going to be able to come back. That could be it too.
And take us through Kale. Kale's rose to power lately. Like you mentioned, spreading like a wildfire. Everybody's starting to pick it up. Just explain exactly why everybody's starting to fear Kale.
It's just the straight up damage trading in lane. You max Q, which gives you a 10% damage amp on the enemy, as well as having the dual scaling. And then the late game just comes in better, mainly because penetration works so well with her shredding. The Nashor's Tooth build just comes in work, and it's mainly the Liandry's Torment and the magic penetration that gets in there. It just seems to work. And the fact that they can go mid now, Kale survive, just teleporting to save the minions, and that fight was chaotic, to say the least. Looked like AL had the advantage. They got the kill and then were pushing on to Kevin, but then they just stayed too far. And when it was really Hercubot using his Shaco clone and kind of zoning throughout the back, they trapped him, and you could tell AL didn't know what to do. If they would have made a decisive choice, they probably could have gotten kills or all escaped, but they looked scattered amongst all that, and they lost it 1 for 2.
Hercubot coming in towards the top there. No, they're going to get back away in time. Instead, he's going to pick up that minion. The minion was... it's a lot of gold to pick up, so why not? So let's have a look through the rest of the items. People are starting to go big. The Giant's belts are starting to come out.
How many Giant's belts can you collect is really one of the questions. Although AL Hatoon on top lane Olaf didn't go for the rushed warm-ups, he's actually completed the Shirelia's Reverie, which means they're really looking to group up and try to force their action as much as possible. You can see Misfortune as well, trying to get the early Bloodthirster, but also went double Doran's Blade. Double Doran's Blade on Pantheon as well, which really means AL is going all in with kind of this early game thing, trying to put down SK for as long as possible. And with this, the Dragon is back up again. SK is grouping up for it. AL doesn't have any wards around the area, but if they move to contest, they might be able to make something happen.
Look at the damage from Ocelot towards Trousey. Teleport coming in as well. Absolute Legends want to contest this one. Hitoon's going to charge straight in there, but Kevin goes straight on towards Trousey. Trousey taken down very low, but Bullet Time managed to hit the whole team. Kevin does take down Trousey. Now they're turning their attention towards Nika, and True Shot Barrage flashes past. Nika gets taken down. Hitoon could be the next target. He's going to go right. Crescendo comes across. Horse gets caught out. That's a double kill, and that's another double kill as well by Ocelot. And now Timek, the last man standing, he's going to avoid the damage. Hercubot's trying to head him off, but it doesn't matter. I think the middle turret's going to get picked up as well.
Wow, that is a huge team fight win for SK. They pretty much got the control back of this game with that fight. It was an uncoordinated initiation by Absolute Legends, to say the least. Trousey just got taken low before the Olaf teleport came in, and then they really had to force it in there. SK had the focus and channeled the right targets, whereas Absolute Legends looked very scattered throughout that team fight. They have to fight better than that if they want to win this game.
Candy Panda's going to try and take another advantage and pick up the second turret of the game for SK Gaming. There it is. So they do clear out 2 turrets just off the back of that fight. And Kevin also picking up a huge chunk of farm in the top. Sunfire Cape just been picked up by Kevin. A lot of items being completed actually just because of that one big fight.
There was so much good that happened for SK in that. They got the Dragon, but then because there were kill bounties for Absolute Legends' early lead, they got so much more when they were able to clean up at the end of that. So really look for Ocelot to just dominate as he gets more and more. He's got enough gold now for Haunting Guys if he decides to go back, or he might just, you know, I don't know exactly what direction he's taking. You can build a lot of different items on Kill because she scales pretty well off pretty much everything, in all honesty. Attack speed, ability power, attack damage. He can do whatever he wants. And look at Ocelot. Was he going to take down Trousey here? No, he's just going to walk away.
He's walking past the wards, and you can see Trousey is there, though. The man drop's going to come in on towards Ocelot. They're going to go towards him on the blue. They did manage to jump on him, but he goes invulnerable. But he didn't use the Heartseeker. There he is. Now he's going to shred him down. Ocelot, that's going to be Stan United coming in. Can they turn this back on towards Nika? He has going to have to turn and get the damage down. He gets Nika down, though. Ocelot drops in the process, but now Trousey's in trouble. Hercubot's going to come in. Hercubot picks up the kill now. Now can he go in towards Hitoon? He does manage to come around. He's going to get the ship. Yes, he gets the slow, and Hitoon is going to have to use his Ragnarok if he wants to escape from this one. No, he just walks away because that's what Olaf does.
Just decided not to fight. In all honesty, they probably could have brawled a 3v3 there. That is Absolute Legends, and not came out down 2-1. As the Misfortune ult shoves Candy Panda back. That was a very aggressive play by Absolute Legends. It just backfired. because of how quickly SK responded to it. I mean, Ocelot turned and fought almost immediately after avoiding most of the damage with his ultimate. So again, just experience and cool heads prevailing, which is something we don't say very often about SK.
Yeah, certainly interesting to see how the team is shaping up. Of course, they're using the Hercubot since RNA left. Hitun now versus Kevin. Kevin wants a piece of this one, and he's just going to keep him troubled. Hitun will back off. As well, Kevin's going to go back to buy. Meanwhile, around the blue buff, Hercubot knows that it's up. He's got timers down, but he's going to be careful coming in. He's got Trousey sat ready and waiting. He's going to try and come across. He's got Kevin and Candy Panda, Nif and Candy Panda, sorry, coming around to help him out. Surprised to see Candy Panda not on Caitlyn. I was expecting that. So wow, he's back. It's going to be Caitlyn Panda again. He does manage to pick that up. That's going to be an easy smite there. And uses the...
So they're able to escape that one untouched, free steal. That really showed us that SK has the prohibitive advantage in this game at this point. AL not wanting to contest that at all, despite it really being a straight up 4v4, shows that they are scared of SK right now.
Starting to fear the damage. Of course, with this many bruisers, they can become very strong late game. So do not rule them out. Yeah, it's 11-8 all in kills. 20 minutes gone in this game. SK Gaming, of course, lost to Azubu Frost. Absolute Legends lost to Fnatic. So both these teams desperate for a victory here to stay in the group stage. It is a 3,000 gold advantage currently for SK Gaming, with that one turret advantage they've gained. And now we see the war marks on Kevin.
And another item that's a little surprising is the really early last whisper by Candy Panda on Ezreal. I'm wondering why he did that, because there's not much armor being created on Absolute Legends. He's mainly just getting it so he doesn't need it later. I can't quite figure out why he would go for that item so quickly, but nonetheless, it will make him more bruiser resilient later on in the game, as everyone's going to be trying to dive down on Candy Panda.
Pink ward cleared out, puts in the tri-bush, so Hercubot does come down now, starts stuck in the boxes there. I think they were expecting maybe Nika to come down. I'm not too sure. Kevin meanwhile at the top there versus Hitun. You can see the Aegis Legion being picked up by Hitun. That's going to benefit his team, and I guess he's going to get turned into the Bulwark. It generally has been one of the more popular items that has been picked up and created since the Season 3 patch.
And it looks like he's just going for Aura Olaf in all honesty, which is completely different from the Olaf we've seen dominating almost everywhere. So he's almost losing potential by going for those items. And they're going again, they caught out Lulu.
Lulu trying to get the wards down placement there. Hercubot was just ready and waiting to see straight through, and picks him up another kill. And well, that fearful Shaco is such a scary, scary thing back in Season 1. Could it be making a return?
He's made a hell of a return in this game alone, because his start was disastrous. He was level 5, 12 minutes in, but really the team play of SK and clever play by Hercubot has allowed him to just maneuver himself back into this game. Now with that Sunfire cape completed, he's 500 gold ahead of the enemy jungler Trousey. And again, this is going to be Dragon number 3 for SK.
There is Dragon number 3, extends their gold to just shy of 5,000 now lead. So big advantages starting to get turned slowly but surely by SK Gaming, despite the fact that Absolute Legends had such a really superior start to them.
I think a lot of it has to do with SK's experience. AL can jump out to an early lead, but you see it mostly in new teams. They don't know how to close. You spend so much time practicing in solo queue, and there's never coordinated comebacks or coordinated closes, but you see that all the time at this level of play. And it seems like they're not really ready to hold on to it, because that was a very large early game lead that they've thrown away here.
Candy Panda trying to bait the team, I think, towards him there. 1,100 hit points left on that turret. As Absolute Legends start to group up, and you can see that split push. That's what you get when Shen is in the game. He will just carry on farming on that top lane and just keep on driving through. But slowly but surely they're getting more and more poke onto this. Every time you see Ocelot come in, Ocelot and Candy Panda doing a lot of drop. It's going to be the Pantheon drop. Is it going to be enough? It's going to be towards Ocelot. Ocelot immediately put his ultimate on, and Bullet Time comes across. Bullet Time in, not going to get interrupted, and you can see that's going to be Trousey going down. Kevin picking up the kill there, and they're going to towards Hitun. He's trying to get towards Hercubot. He's coming around, but Horse has been signaled out here. Ocelot's trying to get onto him. They're going to have to turn back towards Hitun. Hitun forced back. Kevin's keeping them busy around the side. He's going to try and head off Hitun, but Hitun with Ragnarok running is just going to avoid all the damage. The Ghost are also on. So it was actually just a 1-0 crazy fight.
Kevin was really just keeping 1 to 3 people at bay that entire time, and now SK is going to continue firing through. It was really telling before that fight happened that SK was keeping 5 Absolute Legends members pinned to a tower while Kevin was split pushing, but not even forcing anyone for him. So it was actually a 4v5 that AL was forced to initiate on somewhat, and then Kevin just came in anyway. So that fight, AL didn't have a chance of getting anyone low. They only lost 1 member themselves. Everyone else was low on Absolute Legends though, so they lost that fight really, really badly despite only losing 1 member.
And they lost the turret. Are they going to lose a second as well? It is going to get taken low, but he is going to leave it because he sees Trousey was heading towards him, people passing towards, so immediately everybody backs away. So everyone goes back to buy. What is Ocelot going to be building next? He's got the Zhonyas, he's got the Nash's Tooth in there now. What is his next item as we see True Shot Barrage, fearful thing that Absolute Legends will be fearing from the last game?
I mean, the Zhonya's Hourglass itself is surprising to me. I was expecting him to go Haunting guys straight into Leandri's Torment, which is probably what he's going for next. But it's kind of cool if you think about the Zhonya's Hourglass on Kale, because at level 14 here, he's got 2.5 seconds of invulnerability from intervention. If he pops Zhonya's, he's got another 2.5 seconds, so he can really make himself untargetable or unviable for a full 5 seconds, which in the middle of a team fight could be quite valuable. We'll see how it works out.
Randy Intoman also coming out from the Herky Bot by the looks of it. Going to get himself tanky for the team and do as much as he can. Of course, both got them Sunfire capes on now. So Herky Bot really just going full tank with Shaco.
And this is what I saw when I tried to look up his Shaco history really briefly before here. Such an uncommon pick. He gets the wriggles, and then he just kind of goes straight tank. That's what you have to do late game on Shaco. He's not going to be able to get in there and really assassinate anyone because they would turn and kill him almost immediately. He's just going to try to be a nuisance in team fights, and the tank build is what's going to help him do that.
So Timmick currently with an Oracle on one turret apiece traded off there, 4-2 in terms of turrets. SK Gaming with that lead, clearing out, and well, SK is still trying to chase down on Trousey there. Trousey is going to back off. They're going to turn in towards the top lane. Kevin's kind of trying to keep Hitoon busy here. They're going to tower dive straight in towards Hitoon. Hitoon pops his Ragnarok and Ghost, and he is off. And that misgains the top lane. It's going to be exposed. There is a creep wave coming in, and there's 5 members of SK Gaming slowly but surely gathering in towards the top lane.
They're just going to try to push this one straight down. I don't think AL can stop this, and if they try, they'd most likely lose the fight. Kevin's build and his Shen in general is just becoming a monster. We've seen so much the Warmogs plus Sunfire combination. He reached that a while ago, and ever since then, he's just been a huge raid boss. They might continue this push onto the inhibitor tower.
They do keep going through. Timmick almost got caught out there by this taunt. Wasn't quite enough though from Kevin, just slightly short. Herkybot uses his ultimate, sends him in there, tries to draw some attention, tries some abilities. Hitoon, of course, doesn't have Ragnarok, should we come into this next fight. So really, it's going to be Wild Growth. It's going to be the main thing to interrupt them. Nif taking a peek around.
And they might try to go in on this next turret. You can see Kevin just tanking up turret hits. Absolute Legends does not want to get bled out. I can tell they feel like fighting very soon. There's a Reverie pop. Are they going to go?
Well, that's they're not sure themselves.
Why would they pop Reverie?
They pop Reverie. Timmick's obviously like, we're going to go for this one. Actually, it was Trousey that used the Reverie, but they didn't go for it. And now here it comes. That's why they backed off. Pantheon comes diving in. He went for Candy Panda, but the crescendo hits the entire team. And then the True Shot Barrage flashes through. SK Gaming successfully disengaged. The pounce on towards Kevin. You can see Horse trying to get his bullet time off, but really everybody from SK Gaming just avoiding a lot of the damage.
They avoided the damage, but they also missed the majority of their own. They landed that great crescendo and then didn't follow up. At the end of the day, though, mission accomplished for SK because they got the inhibitor turret down without suffering any losses.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxes as well covering their exit, so they're just going to back off from this one. Absolute Legends trying to clear up and see if they can pounce on anyone before they go. Will Ocelot be able to get back in time? No, he cancels it, he goes towards Trousey, and you can see Timmick coming around there as well. Timmick might be the target. Oracle in there, no, teleport comes in. They immediately disengage, and Hitoon was forced to use that teleport to be defensive.
And SK gets out without any losses once again. So now 8,000 gold, 28 minutes in. It's desperation time, in all honesty, for Absolute Legends. As the Shaco clone, that was clever. He was controlling the clone back while recalling.
Yep.
Complete mind games there.
Complete mind games.
Fooled us. It's like, what's he doing? No, okay, he's going back.
Yeah, it's like, nope. So Kevin back split pushing, and well, look at that. He's got another Giant's belt.
He's going
That's
for the
3.
Trinity. He's going for the Trinity of Giants belt items. You see, I think Aurelia does this a lot in the recent build she does. Warmog, Sunfire, Randwins, and then you're good.
But honestly, Trousey, I'm not too sure you can take this one. It's Kevin just, he got 3 basic attacks knock up.
If he had a couple minutes, he might be able to take him down. But as it is now, I don't think he can break through the Feint Shield.
No, and there it is, going to be the Ironborn Gauntlets picked up by Candy Panda. He's going to pick up another Dragon for SK Gaming. That's 4 so far in this game. Every single one of them being picked up. Ward's coming out. They're trying to position for Baron, but honestly, I don't think SK are too worried about Baron. They just want to push this one through.
And I want to highlight here, Candy Panda went for the Iceborne Gauntlets on Ezreal again. He did this in the first game against Azubu Frost, and it kind of fell off there because Azubu did such crisp team fighting as Ocelot's getting chased down by 2 members at top.
They're going to try and dive on towards him. He uses his ultimate. He's going to be safe. And meanwhile, the rest of his team are starting to close the gap here. So Ocelot now, Stan United's going to come in. They're all going to turn around. Crescendo just missing out there. And Horse pucks away. Puts a bullet to him. But the Zhonya's Hourglass saves him. And everything was used. Trousey's going to get caught out. Wild Growth pops. Is it going to be enough? Pantheon's going to jump in. He's going to want to cancel that because he's jumping into an absolute devastating SK team. They're going towards Team X. Team X trying to get away from this one. The Oracle almost run out, but it doesn't matter. He will try and back away, and you can see SK Gaming successfully defending Ocelot.
Jump in to get out is what Pantheon just pulled off there. And Ocelot did the 5 seconds of invulnerability, which stalled for an incredibly long amount of time as SK was completely able to come down. And wow, Candy Panda just evaporated movement.
Actually, getting picked off there. The inhibitor goes down, and SK Gaming have the advantages extended once again. 15-8 kills, 6-2 in turrets. Huge gold lead, 10,000 gold, and they're just driving home every single advantage. They're going to clear out this mid wave and just keep it going.
So, Candy Panda with those Iceborne Gauntlets really does add a lot of mobility to their team overall. Getting back before all that chaos, what I was talking about. It is a really good Ezreal thing. You just have to make sure your team has enough damage overall. I think with Ocelot's Kale and just the straight up tank force that they have in front of him, it's good for this style of team comp. It didn't work out in the first game, but it worked out here.
And that's going to be the final inner turret being taken down by SK Gaming. 7-2 in turrets now. Huge advantage over Absolute Legends, as we expected. So, Jack, let's get down to business. We saw it yesterday, Gambit game. Oh, the axe is going to actually interrupt. It was Hercubot and Kevin. He might not want to go into that bush. That's two people you probably don't want to fight right now. But let's get back down to business. Gambit Gaming squeaked their way through by finishing fast yesterday. This is one of the games that is going to be the point that I just feel that absolutely, certainly Fnatic and SK, they're going to be the ones fighting for second place, unless somebody pulls out something crazy and the Azubu Frost do get beaten.
Well, what would have to happen in that case is the time of game only matters if it's teams that are playing against each other that are tied. With the way it's looking now, and Absolute Legends falling behind large to SK, already losing to Fnatic, I don't feel like they have the best chance against Azubu Frost. I think I'm safe in saying that. We'll see. I don't know if time of game is going to matter in this one, but they should be pushing the pressure a little bit just in case. They know how quickly Fnatic won, and they should try to make something happen here because they have enough lead to play with.
So we do see SK Gaming clearing out the Baron pit. Are they going to maybe go for it? They are setting up some boxes, so I think SK are looking to maybe go for this one. Pink Ward being put down by Lulu at the top there, and that's immediately made them back off. There's a huge creep wave from Kevin pushing in, so somebody's got to deal with Kevin, and he can just stand United away. Teleport not quite available yet, so if Hitoon does go for it, which he has done, he's been baited over there, it's going to be a 4v4 and stand United available.
Hitoon doesn't have his teleport either, and they might just try to take this down with 4. Even if AL tried to go in, I don't think they make it in time. Here comes the Panthol. We're going to see the fight right here.
The drop is going to come in, but the Baron was already picked up, and straight away the crescendo across. Nika gets dropped where he stands. Bullet time hits very nicely, though. Oh, but Trousey was baited into going for the clone there. An immediate double kill picked up by Ocelot. While that all happens, they just wipe the floor, and Kevin, well, you can see he's forced Olaf away. Hitoon was taken so low by Kevin, you just can't take him on now. He's got so much damage. He's got that phase to Frozen. Mallet's going to come out in a moment.
And Kevin knew exactly what he was doing there. He knew the team was going to win a 4v4 just fine without him. So he just continued to bully up top, and it's the absolute pressure that SK has here as they crush down onto the Nexus turrets.
That's one Nexus turret down. The second one is going to go. It's going to be SK Gaming that are going to pick up victory here. It is going to be game 2 and 1-0 to them. 18-8 overall, 9-2 in turrets. Great result for SK Gaming, so they pick up their first win here at the Inside Extreme Masters in Katowice, Poland.